Hey you guys, welcome back to another Watch Me Work. Today I am going to show you how I got this look right here. It's a nice Valentine's Day appropriate rosy angel cherub full set of Gel X extensions. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this is what we're starting with. I have naked nails right here. So to start off, I am just dry pushing my cuticles back with a metal pusher. This step doesn't seem like it would do a lot, but you can really tell the difference when you don't do it. Then real quick, I decided just to trim my natural nails. I like them super short when I'm doing a new full set, just so that I can make sure they don't get in my way when I'm trying to apply the extensions. Now I'm going in with my e-file prep. This is my favorite way to prep. My bit is in the reverse direction and I'm using a really itty bitty little flame bit. This is my favorite cuticle bit. So it's super tiny, and especially for myself, I have really little nails. So it's in the reverse direction, and I start at the base of the cuticle and gently run it along the right side of the sidewall. I'm running this bit about 10,000 RPMs. That's probably as fast as I would go on my skin personally. The softer the skin, the slower you want to run it, and the harder the skin, you can run it a little bit faster. But it definitely, when it comes to diamond bits on the skin, I would start slower and work your way up. But again, that only applies to diamond bits. So once I've done all 10 nails in the reverse direction on the base and the right side of the sidewall, I'm flipping my e-file in the forward direction and I'm running that same bit along the left side of my sidewall, pushing all that skin, dead or otherwise, up and off my nail plate so that I'm able to get a really good, nice gel application. And if you leave dead, sticky, gross cuticle on the nail, that is going to cause your enhancements, gel polish, whatever it is, to lift. You want to get rid of it all, at least I do personally. I know nail techs all do something different. I like to get rid of all the cuticle that I can because I want to ensure that my enhancements aren't going to lift. I'm gonna go ahead and nip off any excess dead skin that's sticking up and off of my eponychium. I really got after my thumb here. I probably wouldn't have done this on a client, but because it's me, of course I don't care. I would have just used this bit right here to get rid of all of that hard, dead skin on a client, but this is my new, maybe second favorite bit. It's just a nice long cylinder with a nice round top to kind of smooth out any blunt edges or cuts that the nippers made. And it really helps just kind of make everything a little bit more sloped and seamless, so it's not so dramatic of like a pocket, I guess. It just makes it a lot more seamless. Then I'm going to go ahead and use a scrub brush and my alcohol to cleanse off all that dust. Dust will also cause lifting. You want no dust left over. I'm going to go ahead and dehydrate. This is the Model 1's nail dehydrator. This is fine. I like this stuff. It's inexpensive and it's easy to get. Then I'm going to go ahead and prime. This stuff is not cheap, and it is you want to make sure that you know what you're doing when you use an acid primer. This is an acid primer. It's called the Non-Lifting Primer by Tammy Taylor, and it is no joke. You need to be very careful with this stuff. You can see how much excess you wipe off of the brush before I go in and apply it on my nails, especially since my nails are so teeny tiny. I start in the very center, do a nice stripe down the very center of the nail, and then slowly, as there's less product on your brush, you can get closer to the sidewalls. I'm gonna do a nice thin layer of my Après Extend Gel all over all 10 nails, and then I will cure that for 60 seconds. Then comes the fun part. I have already sized all of my tips and etched the underside. That is a step that you cannot skip. It really helps increase adhesion when you etch the underside. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a thin layer of Extend Gel on the underside of the tip, and then I'm gonna kind of squeeze off the excess on the very base of that cuticle. I'm going in at a 45-degree angle at the cuticle area, and I'm kind of backing it off the cuticle a little bit because I'm going to backfill that area so that I get a nice grow out in a couple of weeks. So you go in at the cuticle area, back it off just a little bit, 45-degree angle, and slowly press it down. I flash cure for just a couple of seconds, and if I notice that there's some gel sticking out either on my skin or just not underneath the tip like it's supposed to be, don't let it cure all the way and clean it up really, really well, and just make sure that you get it all off the skin. Gel nail products are not meant for your skin, they're meant for your nails. So ensure that that's all off your skin. I use a really, really teeny tiny dotting tool. It's super fine and easy to kind of get in those really hard to reach places. So that's typically what I use. Each nail gets a flash cure for maybe like 5 to 15 seconds. And then once one hand is done, once I've got all 5 fingers on, I go ahead and pop my whole hand in the big lamp for a full 60-second cure. Now I'm just gonna seal that area, that kind of ledge that is created when you back the tip off the cuticle. It's not very smooth. So I'm using a 240 grit sanding band, a very, very soft sanding band. I'm running it maybe somewhere between 8 and 10,000 RPMs. Not too fast because I am kind of filing a little bit on the tip, but also a little bit on my natural nail. So you really wanna make sure that your bit is parallel to the nail because you do not want to cause rings of fire. So when you are sealing that tip at the cuticle area, it can be easy to kind of want to angle your bit up a little bit. Don't do that. You want it parallel. And I am running that bit along the whole nail very, very lightly just to kind of rough it up. I don't want it to be too smooth when I go and put in extra gel because two slippery, smooth surfaces will not stick together. So I'm just roughing up the tips just a little bit. Just wanted to show you this little bit right there. There's like a weird string of gel kind of connecting to my skin. So I wanted to show you that if you notice that, you got to get that itty bitty bit in there and get it cleaned out. You do not want gel cured on your skin. Cleansing off all that dust with some alcohol really quick. And now I'm ready to go ahead and backfill that area with some gel. I'm using my Cocoist Excel Builder. I am trying out this technique. I saw Katie Dutra talk about putting a thicker viscosity gel on like a little mug warmer to kind of thin out the viscosity a little bit. I was a little bit nervous to try it, and I've done it with several different really thick viscosity gels, and I haven't had any issues with it yet. You don't want to let it get too warm, obviously, but I did put it on my little mug warmer on the lowest heat setting, and it made this gel so much easier to work with, which I'm so excited about because I love the way that this gel wears, but I do not love a really thick viscosity gel. I really like a runnier gel. So that's a tip that I think is maybe worth a shot, but definitely do your own research first because I don't know if it's recommended to kind of heat up these gels, but I really love the way that it's been working so far. I am flash curing every nail as I go. When you build up a gel nail, it will self-level into the sidewalls if you don't give it a flash cure. So I'm popping it in my Cocoist LeBlanc lamp. This is new to me and I'm so loving it. It's got a low heat mode. So instead of it literally just being low heat, it blinks when you are on the 90-second low heat version. I don't leave every nail in there for a full 90 seconds, but it does truly help minimize heat spikes. So I leave it in that blinking low heat mode for, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds per nail, just to make sure that it's cured in place. And then, you know, when I move on to the next nail and I put that nail in there, the first one continues to be cured, so it all ends up fully cured. But that low heat blinking mode has been my favorite thing about this new lamp, and it's cordless, which I love. So I'm just applying a nice slip layer, and then I'll grab a larger bead and apply it on the nail, back and forth, nice windshield wiper motions, using a nice detail brush to kind of clean up the edges, make sure that it's laying all flat, building up that apex. I do have pretty teeny tiny hands, but that's another thing I love about this lamp is I can fit my thumb in there level. I don't have to like hang my hand off the end of the table. Personally, that's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish file. This isn't something I always do, but I knew that I was gonna be building up some art on top of these puppies. So I did go ahead and finish file. There was a couple that, you know, had some peaks and valleys that needed to be finish filed as well. I'm using a 180 grit hand file and just gently going over the surface of all those nails, making sure that there's no peaks and valleys. You can use an e-file and a sanding band or your preferred bit to do this as well. And honestly, I don't have any rhyme or reason for why I do one or the other. Sometimes I find that if I use a sanding band, it can be a little bit tougher to kind of control my pressure, and that can cause a peak or a valley that you're trying to avoid. So I don't know, because a hand file is flat, it's a little bit easier to kind of make sure that your pressure is even throughout, but sometimes an e-file is just faster. And you know, if you're using really nice light feather strokes, you shouldn't have an issue. So like I said, I don't really know. I don't really have any rhyme or reason to what I choose, but this time I chose to use a hand file. Grabbing that cylinder bit again with that nice round top, I'm kind of just going along the cuticle, making sure that it's nice and thin. Not too thin, but not too bulky either, because like I said, I'm going on top with some art and kind of just smoothing out that enhancement and kind of pushing my skin back so I can get a nice gel polish application. Cleansing off the dust with some alcohol, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my polish. I really love this brand. I don't know how to say it, but I get it on Amazon. I think it's like a Japanese gel brand, Korean gel brand, something like that, but I really, really do like them. This is more of like a sheer jelly white. So I'm just doing one coat of that, and I'm primarily doing that so that you can't see through the pink jelly polish that I'm gonna go in with next. And so that when they do start to grow out and you can see the underside, it's not pink and see-through. It's a jelly white. I just want it to be a little bit more opaque, basically. I still like the sheer jelly vibe, which is why I didn't go in with like a stark white underneath it. I just didn't want the pink to be so incredibly see-through. So I do one coat of the white, 2 coats of the pink, and then I'm gonna go over top of that with a very thin layer of the Mega Stick base because I'm going in with some stickers. So I wipe off the inhibition layer from the Mega Stick, and then I'm gonna go in with my art, and I'm kind of just figuring it out as I go. I knew that I wanted a couple angels, so I did angels on my thumb and ring fingers with some little rose petals on the fingers with angels. Super pretty and in focus, love it. This has been my favorite way to apply stickers on top of a Mega Stick. And then I will use my little silicone booper, my little silicone tool, to really seal down those edges so that there's nothing lifting up or any little like folds in the edges. So once I'm happy with that and I know that all the edges of all the stickers are laying nice and flat, I'm gonna go in with one more decently thin coat. It's a little bit thicker of my Mega Stick. It's kind of an encapsulation, but I'm not building an enhancement on top of it. I'm just making sure that everything is nice and sealed. Cure it for 60 seconds and then pop your top coat on. This is the Ultra Glossy, the best top coat that has ever been made. It is fantastic and it stays this glossy. 2 weeks later, my nails will still be as glossy as they are on the first day. So that's everything for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any future videos of mine, and I will see you guys next time.
I'm so cold. Yeah, my heart's sinking like a